Well, the suspect is accused of targeting victims because of their Jewish faith. Now, he could face the death penalty here if he's convicted of a hate crime. It is the second deadly shooting in just the past week that's being investigated as a hate crime. Joining me now, former prosecutor Bob Bianchi, who's host of Law and Crime, and HLN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Welcome, both of you gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let's start with hate crimes here. It seems like they're on the rise. Joey, tell us about your thoughts on that. In the U.S., at least. My
thoughts are, Cheyenne, good afternoon to you, good afternoon to my friend Bob, is that we are in a very difficult place. We're in a place where, and I get and I understand that there are, really competing ideologies. We have Democrats, we have Republicans, we have independents, we have people with very strong thoughts, very strong views, but it just seems as though we live in an era that we are being in disagreement as well as being disagreeable. We are assailing our opponents, and we are not only based on ideology, but we're assailing them too. Now, Bob has spent much time in the courtroom. I have, obviously, as well as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney, Bob now defending people as well. And in the courtroom, I could tell you that we're advocates, and we're serious and zealous advocates, because it's about serious business. It's about serious livelihoods. But it doesn't mean you demonize the people that you're fighting against. It doesn't mean that I hate the prosecutor. It means that I have a point of view that's contrary to the prosecutor, and I obviously want to advance that upon a jury. What am I saying by analogy? I think our discourse now has become so uncivil, so hateful, and so, it's disdainable. And, again, I don't want to cast aspersions. This is a somber day. People are being laid to rest, but you question how and why it happened. And I think that we just need a lot more leadership from our elected officials to watch what they say and to stop assailing people. And so, it's a terrible problem. I'm thankful to you, Cheyenne, that you're discussing this today and that we're addressing this in this forum, but I just don't know. I mean, I'm hopeful that it gets better. I just don't know with the rhetoric that exists now that it will.
Bob, I'd love to know your thoughts, too, on hate crimes and if social media is partially to blame here.
It's funny. Question gets asked. When I became prosecutor in about 2007, before the explosion of social media, we anticipated this happening. And in fact, we specifically anticipated it with regard to the ethnic groups, the Muslims, the Jews, and we went out and target hardened them with the anticipation that social media was eventually going to be a forum in which people that are lying just below the surface of normality would activated by hateful speech and go out and do horrible things. And on the high holy days with the Jewish population in particular, we had increased police presence. We went to their communities. We had explained to them how not to be targets or victims of crime. And you know what? Here we are 11 years later. Social media is off the hook. It now provides, much like Joey is saying, an opportunity for people to be just outright hateful. The rule of law has broken down on both sides of the equation. You can have liberals attacking people in restaurants. You have conservatives going out and doing, obviously, a far more horrible thing like this. And you have to ask the question, where's it going to end? And some social consciousness needs to change. But you know what? We knew this was going to happen a long time ago.
And this last one for both of you. Local officials, should they embrace the fact that the president is coming in? And if they don't, isn't that negativity kind of adding to all of this?
Well, Shyann, I get their perspective. I think that a day like today is about the victims. It's about their families. It's about grieving. It's about remembering their lives and the gift that they were to all those who love them, who support them. As we look at the beautiful picture there, the brothers and the other victims. And so I get and I understand why people do not want him there. And I say that not for a political reason, but look, obviously, let's call a spade and address the elephant in the room. He's a divisive force. Whether you love him or whether you hate him, he's divisive. And so I think it takes away by having that divisive figure there from what ultimately it should be about. And so I get and I understand the pain. Let me take that back. I could never get and understand the pain that they're going through. But I'm empathetic to what their views are concerning not wanting the president there.
All right, Joey Jackson, Bob Bianchi, thank you both.